Cash transfer programs are a form of social protection where governments or donors can just deliver cash to targeted groups, often the most poor or vulnerable populations in the country. And in Latin America, they're often conditional, whereas in Africa, they're unconditional, meaning that when people are deemed eligible for the program, they receive the cash without having to do anything further. This enables them to spend the money exactly how they feel meets their needs. And there are skeptics out there that question if you just give cash to people, maybe it'll be misused or it's a waste of money. However, we find that is not the case at all. AIR was commissioned by UNICEF Zambia to conduct impact evaluations of the Zambian government's cash transfer programs. The Zambian government has implemented two separate cash transfer programs. One's the Child Grant Program, which targets households with children under 5, and the other one is the Multiple Category Transfer Grant. For the Child Grant Program, the Zambian government decided to target districts in the country. There are 90 districts. They wanted the districts with the highest rate of poverty and child mortality and malnutrition. These ended up with the districts that are furthest from the capital and border along Angola and the DRC. So they ended up in Shangombo, Kalabo, and Kaputa. These districts are quite remote, but there's very great need for the program there. Being one of the co-principal investigators for the cash transfer evaluation in Zambia has been incredibly rewarding. I was a Peace Corps volunteer in Zambia, living in a rural village among many of these households who are now beneficiaries of the program. And we conducted randomized controlled trials of each of these programs. They had large sample sizes. We had over 2,500 households in the Child Grant and over 3,000 households in the multiple category, making these some of the largest randomized control evaluations of cash transfer programs in Africa. The benefit of a randomized controlled trial is that we are able to tease out the true effects of the program. We find that households are more food secure. They're eating more meals a day. Many households were eating only 1 meal a day, but now households are eating 2 or 3 meals a day. There was more diet diversity in what they were eating. They were more likely to overcome shocks. When there was maybe drought, they were able to overcome that. We find that they have shoes and clothing for their children. Kids are enrolling in schools, especially primary and early secondary school. Households are also able to be productive with their cash transfers, investing in labor on their farm or fertilizer to increase their yields. And we also find non-farm enterprise productivity where increased, where maybe they're starting little businesses in their community and increasing the value, so that for every dollar they received in the transfer, they're able to turn it into $1.50's worth of value. So this is very exciting, because this is saying that cash transfers are not just a handout that isn't making people dependent upon the cash indefinitely, and they're not misusing it. 2 years into the evaluation, we had such strong results that the Zambian government said that we now have evidence that these programs do work, and they decided to scale this program up, a version of the cash transfer program up nationally. That said, there are limits to programs and what they can achieve, and what we've consistently found is that they weren't getting impacts in certain areas like child nutrition and healthcare. One belief about why this program is not affecting these areas is that these households depend upon other services for that. So they have to have access to clean water. They have to have be able to reach the clinic. I think the future of cash transfers in Africa is not about whether to do or not, but how to design them to most efficiently target the households in most need, and how to leverage the cash along with supplemental services such as healthcare and education to get the most out of it.